Have you ever caught yourself pausing in the middle of a simple task, like pouring your morning coffee, and suddenly wondering what you were just thinking about a second ago? Or maybe you've noticed how a short walk to the mailbox leaves you feeling more mentally drained than it used to, or how little annoyances, like waiting a few extra minutes at the doctor's office, now spark a sharper frustration than they ever did before. It's so tempting to brush these off as the usual signs of getting on in years, something everyone goes through eventually. But after more than 20 years spent working with folks just like you, studying what really keeps senior minds sharp and steady, I've learned that a surprising amount of these changes trace right back to what happens when your head hits the pillow each night. And my days have been filled with conversations just like this one. People coming in worried about memory slips, feeling more on edge than they remember being, or sensing a general fuzziness that makes even enjoyable things feel like extra work. Almost every time, they arrive already convinced this is simply the unstoppable march of age, a slow fade no one can stop. Yet when we start looking closer at their daily patterns, especially around sleep, a different story often emerges. The main thing wearing down their mental clarity isn't usually too much sugar in the diet, constant worry, or family genes alone. It's the quiet ways sleep habits have drifted over time, small shifts that build up until thinking feels heavier and moods less even. The good part, the part that gives real hope, is that these habits respond beautifully to gentle, everyday adjustments that don't require special tools, expensive supplements, or turning life upside down. Sleep does so much more than just close your eyes for a set number of hours so your body isn't dragging the next day. Deep inside those quieter, heavier phases, the slow-wave sleep that feels like sinking into a soft, dark place, and the REM sleep where dreams come and go, your brain gets busy with important overnight jobs. It acts like a careful cleaning team, flushing out the waste products that pile up from all the thinking, feeling, and deciding you do while awake, keeping the brain environment clear so everything can run smoothly. It strengthens the tiny connections that hold memories in place, helping make sure yesterday's conversations, names of neighbors, or where you park the car don't slip away as easily. It patches up small wear in the pathways between brain cells, so thoughts travel fast and clear without getting stuck, and it gently sorts through the day's emotions, any little stresses, joys, or worries, so you wake up feeling more balanced instead of carrying yesterday's weight into today. When nights get choppy, with frequent wake-ups or not enough time in those deep stages, this maintenance work gets shortchanged. That's when the effects show up first in daily life. Thoughts take longer to come together. Familiar details play hard to get. Focus wanders off without warning, and moods can feel unpredictable or flat, even on calm days. The National Institute on Aging has clear numbers on this. Nearly half of adults over 65 deal with ongoing sleep troubles of one kind or another. Yet more than 60% of those same people see those troubles as no big deal, or just a normal part of getting older. They don't always see how those restless, shallow nights slowly wear down brain sharpness over the long haul, month after month, year after year. There's no sudden alarm, no sharp pain, no obvious crisis, just a steady, quiet fading of how quickly and steadily the mind works. From all the studies I've reviewed, and all the real stories I've heard directly from patients, one thing stands out again and again. When it comes to what keeps a senior's brain functioning well, sleep habits often turn out to be the single biggest influence, and one that's actually within reach to improve. It's rarely mainly about overdoing sweets, living under endless stress, or genes being the whole picture. More often than not, it's the everyday choices around when and how we sleep that carry the most weight. Let's take this one piece at a time, nice and slow, like we're chatting over a cup of tea. I'll walk you through the 5 most common sleep patterns that quietly chip away at brain function for people in their later years, then share simple, research-supported ways to turn things around. These ideas come straight from solid work done at places like Harvard, Stanford, the University of Colorado, Johns Hopkins, the University of Michigan, and the National Institute on Aging. They're practical steps that have already helped many seniors feel their minds clear up, their moods settle down, and their focus strengthen again. Nothing extreme or hard to try, If you're comfortable, type just your age in the comments when you can. I'd love to know who's here with me and who might be recognizing some of their own experiences. One of the biggest ones starts with bedtime that moves around a lot from night to night. Maybe one evening, you're tired from a family visit, so you head to bed early. The next night, a good show keeps you up later, and weekends follow their own rhythm. That kind of shifting throws off your body's built-in daily clock, the circadian rhythm that sets the timing for when you're most alert, when memory pulls up details easily, when concentration holds steady, and when emotions feel even. Once you're in your 60s or 70s, this clock loses a bit of its natural bend, so regular signals become even more important to keep everything lined up right. Right at the center is a small part of the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the master timer that relies on consistent cues, like the same wake-up and bedtime every day, to stay accurate. When bedtime changes too much, the brain struggles to line up full periods of deep non-REM sleep, the stage that's especially key for turning short-term experiences into long-lasting memories you can call on later. A careful study from the University of Colorado followed 300 adults for 8 years and found something striking. People with irregular sleep timing saw their ability to remember specific events from life drop about 30% faster, and this happened even when they were getting what looked like enough total sleep. So 7 or 8 hours in bed doesn't fully protect you if the schedule keeps drifting. The real power of sleep comes from knowing when to expect deep rest. The brain works best when it can count on those restorative phases arriving at roughly the same time each night. If you've had that annoying moment of stepping into a room and instantly forgetting why you're there, or starting a sentence and losing the rest halfway through, go ahead and add foggy to your comment right now. We're probably describing the same thing many others go through. Another habit that sneaks up on people is staying in bed awake for long stretches, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes more. It seems sensible. You're already comfortable. Lights are low, so why get up? But the brain is always learning from what happens around it. Spending extended time awake in bed starts teaching it to link that spot with being alert, thinking things over, or feeling restless instead of automatically relaxing into sleep. Over time, this conditioning makes sleep lighter overall, with more frequent little wake-ups that break the night into pieces. Think of your bed as a peaceful garage, meant only for resting. When you linger awake there, it starts feeling more like a busy intersection where things keep moving. Johns Hopkins researchers tracked 250 people aged 65 and older and saw that those who often stayed awake long in bed had 42% more nighttime awakenings and higher scores for morning anxiety. That added touch of edginess can show up as getting irritated over small things that never bothered you before, struggling to stay focused on a conversation or hobby, or just feeling like your mind isn't as solid, even if anxiety wasn't part of your life in the past. Going to bed surprisingly early is another one that catches many seniors off guard. Heading to bed at 7 or 8 in the evening feels like a smart way to get more rest, right? More hours in bed should mean more recovery, but the body builds up a natural need for sleep through enough wakeful hours and light activity during the day. If bedtime comes too soon, that buildup doesn't happen fully, so even with 9 or 10 hours under the covers, the time spent in deep, slow-wave sleep and dreaming REM gets cut short. Slow-wave sleep clears out brain waste and locks in facts and skills, while REM helps process emotions and keeps thinking flexible. Without enough daytime wakefulness, those stages don't last as long or go as deep. The University of Michigan looked at seniors with early bedtimes and found their REM cycles were about 20% shorter than they should be, even with all those extra hours in bed. It can look a lot like early thinking decline, trouble finding words, slower responses, moments where things feel confusing, but because it's tied to timing and not permanent damage, adjusting the schedule often brings a lot of it back. Your brain is still capable, it just hasn't had the right conditions to show what it can do. Even small amounts of light at night can cause more trouble than most people realize. It might be the hallway light left on for safety, the glow from a clock radio, a quick look at your phone when you wake up, or light coming under the door from a TV in another room. Any light tells the brain it's not fully nighttime yet, which cuts back on melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep smoothly, keep sleep deep, and protects brain cells from everyday wear. When melatonin gets reduced, sleep stays lighter, waste doesn't clear as well, and memories don't form as strongly. Stanford researchers tested adults over 65 and saw that even low-level light at night dropped melatonin by about 50%, leading to shallower sleep and weaker memory the next day. People usually don't notice this right away because there's no immediate warning. The effects build slowly, so it's easy to think it's just age rather than something changeable. Relying on sleep medications night after night for a long time is the last one worth mentioning. They can help short-term when things are stressful or you're away from home. But when used every evening for 6 months or longer, especially certain types like benzodiazepines, they often reduce time in deep slow-wave sleep and REM sleep. Those are the exact stages where the brain does its best cleaning, memory strengthening, and emotional resetting. A study in JAMA Neurology looked at seniors using those medicines long-term and found their slow-wave sleep was down by 23%. That stage is especially important because it helps remove proteins like beta-amyloid that can build up and affect thinking if not cleared regularly. Someone might feel they've slept okay because they were out for hours, but the brain misses parts of its repair work, so clarity, mood, and memory gradually suffer. The wonderful thing is that none of these habits have to lead to permanent problems. Brains in later years have an amazing ability to recover when given better support. Even in the 70s, 80s, and beyond, improving sleep can bring real, noticeable gains. The key isn't worry or big overhauls. It's gentle awareness and small tweaks that line up better with how your body naturally works. Let me tell you about 2 people whose stories show this clearly. Margaret was 72 when she first came to see me. She looked tired and sounded a little shaky as she explained how scared she felt. "My mind just isn't the same anymore," she said. She'd walk into rooms and stand there blank on why she went in, grope for ordinary words when talking to her daughter on the phone, and feel this new anxiety creeping in that made her doubt herself more than ever. She got about 8 hours in bed most nights, but bedtime varied, sometimes 9, sometimes closer to 11, and she often lay awake for nearly an hour with thoughts racing about family, health, or tomorrow's list. We started the rest protocol together, a clear step-by-step plan I'll explain soon. She stuck with it faithfully. After 6 weeks, she came back looking lighter. Mornings felt about 80% alert instead of the 40% she'd described before. Night wake-ups dropped from 4 or 5 to 1 or 2. The anxiety eased, confidence came back, and while memory still had small hiccups, she said her brain finally felt rested. One day she looked at me and said, "I really thought I was losing it for good. Turns out my brain was just worn out from nights that weren't helping it recover." Harold, 68, was proud of going to bed at 7 every night to get plenty of rest, but he'd wake at 3 and couldn't fall back asleep, lying there frustrated. Memory tests showed short-term recall had weakened a bit. He'd used low-dose sleep medicine for years. We focused on a fixed wake-up time no matter what, slowly pushed bedtime later, cut evening light, and worked with his doctor to reduce the medicine. His sleep tracker showed deep sleep up 35% in 8 weeks. Word recall went from 15 out of 20 to 19 out of 20. Morning fog cleared, mood steadied all day. He later said the protocol had reset his natural rhythms, so his brain could finally do the repair it had missed for so long. These aren't rare stories. Hundreds of seniors I've worked with have seen similar clear, measurable improvements in thinking sharpness, mood steadiness, and daily energy once sleep habits got real attention. The approach that works consistently is what I call the REST protocol: rhythm for steady timing, education about building sleep need, stimulus control for linking bed to rest, and timing for the best bedtime window. Rhythm starts with choosing one wake-up time that fits your life, say 7 or 7:30, and getting up then every morning, even after bad nights, weekends too. This anchors your internal clock, builds stronger sleep drive during the day, and helps deep sleep come more fully at night. Harvard research showed seniors with fixed wake times got 30% more deep sleep in just 2 weeks. The first few mornings after short sleep might feel rough, but most people adapt fast, and nights improve noticeably. Education means supporting natural sleep pressure on purpose. Keep naps to 20 minutes or less and finish before 3 in the afternoon so they don't cut into nighttime need. Right after waking, get bright light for 15 to 20 minutes. Morning sun outside is best, but a bright lamp or lots of indoor lights work if needed. Add gentle movement like a slow walk, seated stretches, or light chores such as making breakfast or tidying a bit. These keep you alert through the day, which makes nighttime sleep deeper and longer, giving your brain more time for its important work. Stimulus control handles long awake periods in bed. If you've been lying there 20 to 30 minutes or more without sleeping or after waking, get up quietly. Keep lights very dim, maybe a small warm nightlight, and go to another room or chair. Do something dull and calm. Slowly flip through an old magazine without really reading, fold a few towels, listen to soft music without words, or just sit breathing slowly. Avoid anything stimulating. No phones, no TV, no exciting books, no planning. Return to bed only when you feel sleepy again. This retrains your brain to see bed as the place for sleep, not wakefulness or frustration. Johns Hopkins found seniors using this had 42% fewer nighttime wake-ups over 6 weeks, and many felt calmer about sleep overall. Timing aims for bedtime between 9:30 and 10:30 for most seniors. This matches natural melatonin rise and gives enough hours for full cycles with plenty of deep and REM sleep. If your bedtime is different, shift it gradually, 15 minutes later every few nights until you reach the window. Slow changes prevent extra trouble falling asleep or feeling wiped out during the day. The University of Michigan saw seniors who optimized bedtime improve cognitive test scores by 15 to 20% after 4 weeks, thanks to longer deep and REM stages that helped memory stick better and mood stay even. To support everything, keep light low after dark, use warm, dim bulbs, cover glowing screens or clocks, and skip phones or TV in the last hour before bed. Protecting melatonin helps sleep start easier and lets your brain do its protective cleanup more completely. If medicines, sleep ones or others, affect your rest, talk with your doctor about possible adjustments that could help natural sleep more. Following rest brings changes that build naturally. Week 1 often means sleep holds together better, fewer interruptions, a little more depth, mornings less heavy. Week 2 usually brings easier falling asleep, brighter energy, and softer tension or low mood. Weeks 3 and 4 show clearer gains, better recall of recent things, steadier focus during talks or tasks, emotions more even. After a month and on, deep and REM sleep settle reliably. Naps become less needed. Mental clarity feels more like its old dependable self. It's like gently rebooting your brain's rhythms. Small steps at first, but powerfully refreshing once they take hold. To be completely straightforward, rest isn't a cure for dementia, Alzheimer's, or other progressive brain conditions. It focuses on giving sleep the best chance to support your current brain function. Never stop or change prescribed medicines without your doctor's guidance. If you have sleep apnea, serious heart issues, depression, or similar conditions, check with your physician before big routine shifts. Start easy. Lock in wake-up time first, then slowly adjust bedtime. Add morning light and movement. Bring in stimulus control when ready. These are safe, low-risk steps with proven brain benefits. My invitation to you is simple. Choose one piece of rest that feels doable. Maybe the fixed wake-up time, gradual bedtime shift, evening light reduction, or getting out during long awake spells, and stick with it for 30 full days. Note each day how clear your mind feels on waking, how steady your mood holds, if memory or focus seems any stronger. When the month ends, come back and share what you noticed in the comments. Your story might quietly help someone else who's on the fence about trying, and it keeps you accountable in a gentle way. Your brain has carried you through decades of living, joys, challenges, ordinary moments, and it deserves consistent care so it can keep going strong instead of being dismissed as just getting older. We'll talk again soon about another everyday habit many overlook that can surprisingly lift that stubborn mental haze so many seniors feel. I think at least one idea will make you see brain health in a new light. If you've stayed with me all the way through, type Clear Mind Journey in the comments. It means a lot to know we went through this together. Rest easy tonight, be patient with yourself, and remember that steady small changes often bring back more sharpness and lightness than you ever expected.